The Under-18 Futures Western Challenge Game 2 between Team Saskatchewan, who's listed as the home team wearing the black jerseys, and Team BC, the visitors, in the orange jerseys. This is Saskatchewan's second game. They had a dominant performance versus Team Alberta with a 38-0 shutout victory. And this is the first time we get to see Team BC in this U-18 Futures Western Challenge. Chad Hill here with you, bringing you the game live. A beautiful day in Sherwood Park, Alberta. Slightly overcast, slight breeze, but it's warm temperatures, and we're in for a fantastic morning of football. Team captains are up with the officials. Team BC, as the visitors, will make the call.
Your head referee for today's game from the Edmonton Football Officials Association is Mr. Dwayne Asberg.
Team BC wins the toss, and they will elect to receive. So we will get our first look of the day with the Saskatchewan defense that pitched a shutout last week with an absolute dominating performance led by their front seven, in particular the defensive lineman from Weyburn, Saskatchewan, a tag team effort from Owen Istes, who was the defensive player of the game, and his teammate Caleb Charlton leading the charge up front. The secondary was led by Chase Murray, who had an interception. That's number 19, defensive back from Miller High School. And I am joined by my partner, the play-by-play man.
We made it.
Climbing the ladder, making it up here. That makes me feel better now that you're here. All right.
No worries. So Team BC, Team Saskatchewan getting ready to go here from beautiful Emerald Hills Park in Sherwood Park. As Chad was mentioning, Saskatchewan's been pretty darn good as of late. And BC will look to try to take them down here. Not an easy task, obviously. You mentioned that Saskatchewan's defense has been rock solid, Chad.
Yeah, BC's going to have their work cut out for them. Really, the front seven I thought was dominant on last week versus Team Alberta. Lots of pressure, and again, it's not always about how many quarterback sacks you have, but the D-line was living in the backfield of Alberta. So, you know, if you're rooting for Team BC, hopefully their offensive line is mobile and can get off that ball and not have that line of scrimmage reestablished in their own backfield.
Kaylin Haid kicks the ball away here for Team Saskatchewan. Picked up at about the 20-yard line by Team BC. Shifty move there. And running into a little bit of trouble. Looked like that was Ryder Stoughton, 17 for Team BC.
That's Ryder Stoughton on the return for
Got up to about the 30-yard line, maybe a little bit short here. And Team BC gets the ball for the first time.
Yeah, that was a lot of dancing, a lot of juking to try to squeak out a couple of yards up to the 30.
Not a bad day weather-wise. The players won't be worried about any heat. About 23 degrees here throughout the game. No chance of showers until, well, probably this afternoon, so it shouldn't affect us too much here as BC gets set to go to work. Rowan Aulak, 8 for BC, is the quarterback. Quick pass, there were flags on the play. It was knocked down. 24 for Saskatchewan. Owen Effa making that defensive play, but let's see what the penalty is.
Looks like 45 Zimmer was trying to time up his blitz. On Zimmer in that neutral zone at the snap of the ball. But that's pressure front from Saskatchewan. They're bringing their linebackers downhill right away here, and they had a lot of success against Alberta doing just that. See some little twists with those really active mobile defensive linemen doing gap exchanges, linebackers flying downhill into the line of scrimmage. So they'll try to bottle up that BC run early on.
So move the ball 5 yards forward. It's 1st and 5 now for BC, and Aulak He's got 2 wide. Some motion there and a little bit of confusion. Alak's just going to take it himself. Slides. Not quite sure he got to the 40 where he needed to. And Chad, was that maybe something that went wrong in the backfield there with the motion that Alak just said, I got to call my own number here?
Yeah, really heads-up play by Alak there. So it looks like it's, you know, they have some sort of motion in the backfield with the slot back. He ran into the running back, so the timing was off. But heads-up play by the quarterback, he's still reading that backside defensive end. And if that defensive end sort of bites down, he has the ability to pull that and run it. And really smart heads-up play to get them inches away from a first down when, you know, that was a broken play. That could have gone in the backfield for a minus. So smart play by the quarterback, gets a positive.
Second and about 1/8 of a football here. Alak, though, out of the gun. 3 to the near side, 2 out wide. It's a little screen pass. Nice move there, caught by Ethan Dahl. Dahl still going and finally wrapped up, taken down just shy of the 50. Signaling for a first down there, combining on the tackle. Regan Skipper for Saskatchewan, and 76 as well, Caleb Charlton.
Yeah, we saw a lot of those two guys against Alberta. They were in on a lot of tackles. But, you know, I was going to say, 2nd and inches, that's a time where you can take your shot if you want. I'm usually not a big fan of those lateral swing passes into the backfield. A lot can go wrong, but credit to the running back for making a couple of nice moves and picking up the first down.
BC at their own 48-yard line, 1st and 10. Alak fakes the handoff, another screen out wide, and it's caught by Austin Dunnell and immediately tackled. Not even sure he got back to the original line of scrimmage. If he did, he didn't get much more than that.
Yeah, good job by the receiver just looking the ball in, but we saw Alberta try a number of those wide receiver hitch screens or you know, in that instance, a bubble screen out there. Same sort of concept where you're just trying to get the ball to a playmaker in space, but this Saskatchewan defense rallies quick. Those defensive backs keep their leverage and they do not miss many tackles.
Looks like they give him about half a yard, so we'll call it 2nd and 9 here for BC. Just shy of their own 50, Alak in the gun again. 3 wide both sides, and the flag goes. Was that maybe a time count violation? That's exactly what the referee is indicating. So BC going to be in a 2nd and long here.
Yeah, it's a little early in the game for a time count violation. Normally, the teams get a bit of a warning, and who knows, maybe they were warned already. But usually we don't see a time count called this early in the game. But these are all-stars. This is under 18. They got to stick to that 20-second clock.
So again, 2nd and long here for BC, about 14 yards. Alak once again in the gun, 3 to the narrow side, running back, and 2 to the wide side here. Everybody out, flags go down, and the pass is incomplete. Trying to connect with Dylan Gilbert there, but that one falls, and let's see what the flag was. It came out really early.
Yeah, it could have been an offside or... Yeah, offside on Team BC. That's right.
Offside indicated against BC.
Sure, Saskatchewan will decline this, and BC will be forced to punt here.
Yeah, and you know, John Grace, they're playing safety on Saskatchewan. Just got a free shot at that receiver, and that's one of those borderline plays that you love your safeties and your DBs to play physical, but that was getting close up into that area of a defenseless receiver, which is you know, at the higher levels we see that called more frequently. Just from my standpoint, I'd like to see that start to get called a little bit more in the high school game.
This is interesting. BC going for it here on 3rd and 14. Alak flushed out of the pocket, and he's just got to throw this one away. That's going to be a turnover on downs inside of BC territory. Interesting decision early on here, Chad.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they got some issues with the punt team or what, but and I know like some coaching philosophies are saying, you know, you go for it, you rarely punt unless you're backed up in your own end, but I just think against a defense as stout as what we've seen Saskatchewan is, when it's 3rd with more than 10 yards to go, your own side of half, I would have been inclined to punt that ball away there.
So Saskatchewan going to work from the BC 43, Elias Flory, quarterback out of Holy Cross in Saskatoon, will be under center here, and he hands it off, and a decent little run to start things off for Peter Borsch.
Yeah, Borsch started Saskatchewan's first game as well and really impressed me, both as a return man and as a running back. He's got some really good vision, quick feet, he can hit the hole. And Flory, as you'll see here, he hasn't attempted a pass yet. He's got a bit of a wonky sidearm release, which is a little bit reminiscent of Phillip Rivers' longtime NFL quarterback. But Flory got the ball on the money for the most part last game.
Another flag flies as the handoff once again to Borsch. Borsch has a first down and more. Borsch down to the 15, but let's see if this one's going to come back.
I think it's offside defensive end number 62 on BC. I thought he almost jumped on first down as well. He's timing that up pretty good. I think he got a slight jump there.
There's a flag on the play.
Look for Saskatchewan to decline.
So a big run for Borsch there.
That penalty's declined.
That run of about 20 yards or so gets them down to the 16-yard line. Saskatchewan knocking on the door here about midway through this first quarter. Flory just dumps this off to a little sweep guy. This is Thomas Jewell. Jewell to the end zone. Touchdown, Saskatchewan.
We do have a flag down. We'll see if this isn't defensive offsides again.
There's a flag on the play.
And that's exactly what it is. BC just trying to get the jump to get any advantage they can, so Saskatchewan will decline. And Thomas Jewell out of St. Joe's has got a touchdown for Team Saskatchewan.
Thomas Jewell was the offensive player of the game in their first game versus Alberta. He was deadly running skinny posts, and they like to get him the ball in that fly sweep or jet sweep action. I said right away, he looks like he's built like a running back to me. When I asked the coach, I said, what do you weigh, about 185 pounds? They said, yeah, that's exactly what he is. That real strong, athletic running back looking build here, deadly with the ball in his hands.
Kalen Haid, the receiver slash kicker for Saskatchewan, looking to convert the extra point, and he does just that. So 7-0 for the kids from the 306 here against Team BC as we continue this U-18 Futures Tournament, coming off a very successful Canada Cup, particularly for the team wearing black here today.
Yeah, gold medal for Saskatchewan, and I'm telling you, this is the future stars that we're seeing here for that province, and I will go out on not much of a limb and say they will probably be favored to win the gold medal again next year in 2023.
That would be them looking for the three-peat as well, as that was back-to-back championships. And that was in Kelowna, so BC was the home team for that. They've made the trip up here to Sherwood Park for this little mini-series, which I think is kind of a good idea, just to give these players a little bit more time together, a few more games, and that's what it's all about, is getting those reps and getting that game time.
I agree, and you get to see a lot what players do in-game action. So if these under 18 coaching staffs are looking for Canada Cup rosters, they get a good sneak peek of what these players can do today.
So Haid looking to kick it off once again here, gives the signal, and away it goes. And that one's caught on the run here, and an opportunity, but not much going on there, was there? 14 BC, back up to about their 30, maybe the 31.
Yeah, I think that was Josh Reed and Ty Holmes leading the charge for Saskatchewan. And special teams impressed me as well last week, and I always get impressed with how good the coverage teams are at this level when you see these all-star events or showcase events. So many really good athletes that are not only starters but impact players on their own high schools, and they're playing on all these special teams, so you often see some really high-level play in that area.
There's Noah Jelks on the return for BC. I shortchanged them a little bit. They're starting at the 33. A quick out once again. Douglas, pardon me. And Douglas, well, maybe a yard and a half, but not much more there as he caught it on the near side here. Again, one of those quick outs that BC's just trying to hopefully have one man beat a guy and get off to the races a little bit.
Yeah, these slot back and wide receiver perimeter screens, I love using them, but I'm telling you, against the Saskatchewan defense, if it's anything like we saw, a few days ago, it's really hard to have success because these DBs are so disciplined and they maintain their leverage. They do not give up plays to the outside. They force everything back in, and they rally and they make tackles.
2nd and 9. Aulak will hand this this one off to Ryland Middleton. Middleton got a little bit of room, got a block, and then how about that stick tackle right there by Jake Mayo out of Lemberg, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, these DBs from Saskatchewan, they tackle. Man, they tackle. And I thought there was a little bit of crease there. No, 27. He looks like he's got the wheels there on Team BC.
Middleton out of Langley secondary.
Yeah, looked really fast and explosive there, you know, and unfortunately for Team BC, he ran into his own blocker there, just wasn't able to make that cut. You know, and if he was able to, he would have had a first down and then some, but still really positive. Now we have third and about a yard here. This is more manageable for a third down gamble.
It's more or less the same spot where they were 3rd and 14 last time. Let's see if Alak slinging it quickly, got a man, but he overthrew him. As getting behind the defense there was Austin Dunnell. Unfortunately, Alak just overthrew it, so it's a turnover on downs once again. Saskatchewan with the ball in positive territory for the second straight drive.
Yeah, Alak just sailed that one, and you know, I understand what they're trying to do. Hit those quick seams. 88 looked like he timed that up. Dunnell looked like he timed that up really, really well. He was full stride at the snap of the ball. Naked eye looked like almost like he was even, you know, past the line of scrimmage. He timed it up that well, but. 3rd and inches, I guess they saw the game film. They know how good that D-line is. Usually 3rd and inches, you're going to see a run up the middle.
Florian Team Saskatchewan going back to work here, 5.5 to go. And once again, the handoff is for Borsch. Got up the middle, and well, we'll give him 5 or so. Should be 2nd and medium here for Team Sask.
Yeah, it looks like number 29, Sholin Bauer, just got enough of Borsch to sort of trip him up and limit that gain.
So it is 2nd and 5 here. Once again, Flory out of the shotgun, got Borsch right by him. 4 to the wide side. Now Borsch splits off to the near side. Pressure coming, and a quick pass is going to be dropped. Thomas Jewell. He was all alone, had it, and maybe was thinking about running before he had caught the ball.
Yeah, he just needs to look that in because he had the numbers, the blockers set up for him. And as soon as they went to that quads look, that 4-receiver side, I was going to say, watch number 87 ISO'd up there. 87 is a nice, tall, about a 6'3" Kalen Haid from Riffle in Regina. And they ISO'd him up last week with some success.
Well, Haid's out there now, but he's going to be doing the kicking duties. 3rd and 5 here, under 5 minutes to go, first quarter, 7-0 Saskatchewan. Hyde, lots of time to boot this one. Nice high kick. Maybe caught the wind a little bit, blowing kind of from the far side of your screen to the near side here, and good coverage downfield by Team Saskatchewan. Getting into the tackle, Noah Dean out of Marion Graham.
Yeah, and heads up by Team Saskatchewan to not get a no yards penalty on that, because that ball really hung up there, took a bit of a funky bounce where they lost ground a little bit on that. So Saskatchewan fortunate to not get that no yards penalty.
BC going to be pinned pretty deep once again, starting at their own 25-yard line. That's where Alak and Team BC will take over once again. Some late instructions coming in there from Douglas. Number 1, now he goes to the far side of the field. Receivers in motion, Alak takes the snap, got a man coming right in on him. He flings it out to Douglas. What a catch that is! Silas Douglas holds it in.
What a catch. I guess the instructions he gave were pretty good. Hey, you're going to throw it to me, I'm going deep. And he lays out for it. Man, love when the play comes in where a guy calls his own. Oh, they're bringing it. They're saying no catch.
They say no catch.
They say no catch.
I guess he trapped it off the turf. That's too bad because the play was great, and Alak really had to hang in there because Owen Istis was bearing down with no block.
Saskatchewan's defensive player of the game from a few days ago, and he came unabated with a clean shot, and yeah, they're gonna have to tweak that blocking scheme because 77 is a dude you have to block. Do not let that guy come in free on your quarterback. It's gonna be a real long day for the QB if 77 comes at you.
And do we have another time count against BC? We do, so maybe some confusion there into what exactly they want to run. Maybe they were thrown off by the fact that that pass was ruled incomplete. Now they've got 2nd and 15 to work with deep in their own end.
Yeah, another time count. So like again, it looks to me like the offensive coordinators signaling in the plays from the sidelines, but that very well could have been, a play call designed for 1st and 10 in plus territory, not a 2nd and 10. He might have had to change the play, which, yeah, we all thought it was a catch. So,
yeah,
that's
I was fooled. That's for sure. So once again, Aulak has 5 receivers out and a running back as well in the gun. Hands it off, and this is going to be a loss here. Trying to get forward was Riley Brooks out of Nanaimo, Comox Valley, but nothing doing there that time. A loss of yards, and BC has really backed up against it.
Yeah, there's a number of Saskatchewan players in the backfield, including linebacker number 40 out of Holy Cross, Regan Skipper, who was really active versus Alberta as well. And again, the Saskatchewan defense just moves so well laterally, and and when I say they maintain their leverage, I mean you're not going to beat them wide. Guys who have contained know they have contained. They 3rd and long, and they're going for it.
Some must be up. Oh, Aulak decides to punt it anyway. It's caught there by Saskatchewan. A good return here, and finally making the tackle was 77, Owen Istis. Nice return there for Team Saskatchewan. Pardon me, John Grace was running that one back. Riley Brooks the tackle. Got my roster sheets confused.
So maybe BC, and I don't know if it's just a timing thing with practice or maybe late injuries, but maybe they don't have a true punt team. Maybe they're just going to rely on their quarterback to line up in an offense to do some of those quick kicks for their punts, which I've seen before. Usually not backed up that far, but.
So once again, Saskatchewan in really good position here. This time a little shovel pass is going to go to Kopis. And the ball is loose. Did BC pick this one up?
BC's
it looks like they have. Big defensive play for Team BC when they were up against it. And racing off the field, arms up, Grayson Turgeon.
Huge play by the BC defense. And again, they're flying downhill there. They had 3 guys in on that tackle on the Saskatchewan running back, who comes limping off the field after he coughed that one up, and really opportunistic there for BC, because if they would have given that one up, all the momentum would have been for Team Saskatchewan, and down 14-0 in the first quarter, like that would have been a big hole for BC to dig themselves out of. So an absolutely gigantic play from the defense.
About 2.5 minutes to go in this opening quarter. BC once again stuck in their own half, starting from their own 18. Aulak gets the snap, quickly gets it away. That was not a lateral. Or did they rule it a lateral? The whistle didn't go until the BC player fell on it. Ben Hassett.
They're going to rule it a lateral.
Looked like it might have had a little bit of forward momentum on it, but not in the eyes of the officials. So that looks like a loss of about 5 more. And BC in 2nd and long once again.
And normally the officials give you the benefit of the doubt. If ever any doubt, usually they rule that it's an incomplete pass. And again, maybe our vantage point not quite as good as the officials down on the sidelines, but heads up play there by 26 again, John Grace. He's having a heck of a first quarter.
Aulak takes a snap. Flag is out. You've got a man wide open, and again, just overthrown. Dunnell was behind the defense. Let's see what the flag is for.
Looks like this will be on the offense. They're ruling offside offense.
Once again, BC giving up 5 more yards, or will Saskatchewan just decline this? I figured that would be wise. Ball looks like it's in the same spot, so this should be 3rd and 15.
I think they're going to go back to Dunnell on those seams. He's got a step, or 2 or 3 steps even. Quarterback just has to, work at, you want to get enough air under the ball, but on those seams, really, it's put it right on him. Don't put too much air. The receiver's there. Try to put it right on his numbers.
See if we get one of those quick kicks again. Throws it away, and it's caught. And that's going to be a first down. Or really close to it. Where did they spot him?
Oh, I think they're spotting him short.
Spot him way back there.
They ruled him down on the catch. His knee must have been down when he scooped that ball off the turf. But
there's Rylan Middleton again, 27.
Yeah, Middleton's showing some real good effort though right now. And just tough for Alak there to throw across his body, looking a little Patrick Mahomes-esque, rolling right, throwing left. That's a tough throw to make. So credit to BC, they just came up a few yards short as he was ruled down, as his knee must have been on the ground when he made the catch.
Certainly looks like in those third down situations, they're looking pass first and then kick as kind of an emergency option, as Saskatchewan gets it right back. And the man who fumbled last time round, Taylor Koppes, gets close to a first down again.
Yeah, Koppes looked pretty explosive in that first game for Team Saskatchewan, so nice to see that he's able to shake that last play off, both mentally and physically, and get right back at it. Nice 9-yard gain. And again, Saskatchewan, you know, they don't have the biggest of offensive lines, but really effective there. Dylan Friedrich at left tackle, doing a good job moving his man out. Number 60 as well in there. Rapchok said his name a couple of times last game. These guys move bodies.
So second and short, Chase Batke out of Yorkton comes in short yardage and just plows his way forward for a first down for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, Batke seems to be the Saskatchewan sort of wildcat quarterback, or the QB where they have designed runs for. He takes the short yardage QB sneaks, and he's another guy. He's built like a running back or like a linebacker. He gets that nice surge from the offensive line.
Ball the 11-yard line.
So at the 11, Saskatchewan with just over 30 seconds left in this opening quarter, looking to extend their lead. Flory takes a snap, quick out here to Jewell. Jewell makes a move, there's a flag down. Jewell stretching, getting over the 5-yard line, but again, there's laundry on the field. Let's see what the call is.
I think was that Gagnon in there with the nice tackle to keep Jewell out of the end zone? Going on the D again. BC's taking a lot of penalties.
That was offside. I wonder if Saskatchewan was thinking of declining it there. He got 8 on the play. I guess 1st and 5 versus 2nd and 2. Both are fairly manageable. Maybe take 1st and 5 just to give yourself a couple more chances at it.
Yeah, I think they're going to take, they'll take the penalty there. 1st and 5. And again, getting the ball to Jewell in space is something Saskatchewan likes to do. Now, here inside the 10-yard line, I wouldn't be surprised if we see one of those tall receivers get ISO'd up there, number 87.
It'd be Hyde.
Yeah.
Or Hyde, pardon me. He's on the near side here. And it's just another jet sweep. This one looks like it's going to go for 6, and it does. Touchdown, Saskatchewan. Tyson Green.
The other tall receiver, but they don't throw him on a fade the way they did a few days ago. They're running him on the jet sweep, get him into the end zone. And yeah, Green had a pretty good game as well. The Saskatchewan's got weapons, and I'm telling you, if BC's going to take this amount of penalties, it's going to be a real long day for them, because Saskatchewan offense doesn't need any help to get in the end zone. They were scoring touchdowns like it was going out of style in the second and third quarter against Team Alberta.
So Tyson Green out of Sheldon Williams High School gets Saskatchewan another touchdown just before the end of the first quarter. And Hyde will convert to make it 14-0 for the boys in black. So
this drive, BC, they got a man down here. But BC just needs something positive. String together a couple of first downs. Even if they can't come away with points, they just need to keep their defense off the field. Their defense has been on far too long. Offense needs a little bit of time of possession and get a drive going for BC. Hopefully at least cross that midfield yellow stripe.
And they've been close, obviously, that long pass to Douglas, and then the Middleton pass on 3rd and long that he was ruled down when he caught it. Both probably should have gone for first, but a little bit of a bobble against the turf, and then, again, just not able to keep the knee off the ground on the catch. But they've done some good things, Team BC.
No, they have, and like I said, they've got their receiver Dunno open on the scene. They've just missed him, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that, because I do think that's there. It's just a matter of them executing.
That's 17, Ryder Stoughton. A little bit shaken up after that one.
Yeah, it looks like Stoughton's holding his arm there. Again, we always hate to speculate, but he's definitely definitely holding that arm in a position. I always call it sort of the wounded wing hold. You know, you could always tell athletes are feeling hurt.
Try to move it as little as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Just the way they hold that arm when they come off. So that's not a good sign. We never like to see injuries at any point, but especially not at these all-star showcases.
So Haid getting ready to kick off once again for Team Saskatchewan. BC looks like they had to make a last-second personnel change. And seems like they have the appropriate amount of players.
BC plays American ball a lot, right? So they're used to having 11 men, but
they have 11.
Yeah, they got that 12th on there.
And I wonder if that was maybe the injury as taken here, and trying to make a move is Jelks. Jelks to the far sideline, and he's going to get up close to the 40. Looks like it's going to be at the 38-yard line for Team BC.
Yeah, nice return by Jelks. I like that. You know, I'm always a fan of going north-south as fast as you can as a returner once you see that crease, and Jelks did that. A couple of nice moves, just gets to that short side of the field and then turns it up for some. This will be the best field position, I believe, to start a drive for BC.
So we're through the first 12 minutes. Saskatchewan's up 14-0, and obviously, Chad, Saskatchewan started in great field position every time, but they haven't had much trouble moving the ball, have they, aside from the one time they fumbled? It's been touchdown, fumble, touchdown for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and that's what the BC defense is going to have to do, is be opportunistic, try to get some takeaways. You know, you got to, if you're coaching the BC defense, say, you know, strip that ball out, right? Punch that ball out. You know, you've got to go for the turnovers, because in all honesty, this Saskatchewan looks like a finely tuned machine offensively. So BC is going to have to be opportunistic, and offensively they can't put their defense in a bad spot. You know, this I get it if they don't have a punt team, but you've got to steer clear of the shadows of your own goalposts.
Well, BC took a timeout there, which is strange on the first play of a quarter, but it also looked like they only had 11 players out there again, so maybe that aspect where they play the more American-style football creeping in. But
yeah, I think that's just it, right? And you know, they got a coach on field in the timeout, and of course, you're not allowed to have coaches on the field then. On a timeout, coaches have to stay on the sidelines, players have to come to you. So again, little nuances that are different, right, across province to province here. So it just takes the players and the coaching staff a little bit of time to adjust to the more nuanced rules of the high school game in the province of Alberta. But yeah, big one is that 12 versus 11 men, and also I would say for these boys who play American ball, no yard from the line of scrimmage, a huge difference for the linemen, and the waggle for these slot backs, right? That's what impresses me. You know, BC Dunnell, the way he can hit that waggle. He may not be doing that in high school.
Alax flings it up. That is definitely a lateral. That ball is alive, and it is going to trickle out of bounds. Last touch by BC, but they've just lost a huge chunk of yards here, and you're shaking your head, Chad. Not a big fan of that one.
No, I don't. You got to be so careful when you have these swing screens and stuff. You've got to be so careful in practice that you have the timing down right, and so the quarterback's throwing it forward, and you want to get that running back coming downhill. He wants to be coming downhill when he looks that ball in. He can't be bubbling. That's why I even went so far a few years back. You know, I took the word bubble out of our offense, and I said, call it a bullet, man, because I want you flying. I want you going fast downhill. We can't be throwing these laterals. And that's the reason coaches say play to the whistle. Saskatchewan D looks like they let up a little bit. They could have had a scoop score for a touchdown there for 6 points.
Loss of 19 for BC, and they'll hand this one off. This is Jelks. We've seen him do well in the return game. An okay gain there of about 2 or 3, but he ran a long way sideways to get not very far forwards that time.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, he'll run a long ways laterally to try to get to the field, to the wide side. But the Saskatchewan defensive backs, outside linebackers, they all play that leverage, that outside in force. Turn that ball carrier back in where the linebackers can scrape down. And Skipper got, you know, a pretty easy tackle for a player of his caliber, right? Because 24, 19, all these guys at defensive back, they do their job turning that play back inside.
This time it's Douglas taking the snap. He's running around now. He decides to kick it just basically straight up in the air and fielded by Owen Effa, defensive back out of Yorkton. And Saskatchewan, once again, great field position. They'll start on the BC 30.
Yeah, and I almost wonder if BC maybe shouldn't try one of those quarterbacks or athletes back there with a bit of a designed rugby-style punt, you know, and you could sort of incorporate the slide protection they might have for their quarterback on his rollouts. Just incorporate that with a punt, you know, and they might be a little bit more effective with that so that they can not be losing yards on third down all the time.
First down for Saskatchewan. Nice play action move there. Flory pass is caught. We have flags down on the play. Trying to see who that was who caught it. Looks like it was Thomas Jewell once again over the middle. Close to a first down. Maybe he did get it, but it all depends on the penalty here.
I think Knutson, D-end, might be offsides on this.
There's a flag on the play.
Looks like Alberta will likely decline.
So this should be a first down here for Saskatchewan. They do decline.
Oh, sorry, Saskatchewan. Did I say Alberta? Just because Saskatchewan's listed as the home team here.
We are in Alberta.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. And Saskatchewan's the home team here, so my apologies for that.
So 1st and 10 for Saskatchewan from the BC 20. Flory with Borges right behind him. And that's where the handoff goes. He's running wide. He's got some space. He's got a touchdown. Peter Borsch.
Flag down, but Borsch untouched into the end zone.
That's offside against BC again, so this one is going to stand. Borsch gets the 3rd touchdown of the day for Saskatchewan, and it's 20-0.
You know, he's a good-looking running back, but I'm going to say this. I think you or I could have not bad yards per carry behind this offensive line. Because that O-line is looking good. Rapchok, Noble, Schenner, Friedrich, Millard. Like, wow.
And I am slow, Chad. Like, slow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, hey. I haven't been fast for almost 20 years, so.
Haid will kick another convert for Saskatchewan, and the lead continues to grow here. So let's see if BC can, again, just something positive, get something building. That's all it takes, 1 or 2 plays, and then they can start to shift the momentum a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. Again, you got to take small gains right now. If you're BC, just look to establish something positive. Try to keep that morale up on the sidelines, because down 21-0 with still 10.5 minutes left in the second quarter. I mean, you got to keep football fun. You know, you really do. So if you're BC, if you've got any gadget plays in your arsenal right now, maybe even on the return, do they have a reverse? Do they have something like that in? Now is where you pull something like that out, because you want a spark play, something that ignites your sidelines, you know, gets the players back into it, feeling good about themselves. And you know, if players are having fun, they're going to be dialed in, they're going to be playing better, they're going to execute more consistently. So look for BC to pull something out of the bag of tricks here.
And last I checked, there's no 21-point play either, so you can't get it all back at once, so you can't worry about that either.
Right, exactly.
Because once again, BC trying to figure out the correct number of players to have on the field. Now it looks like they've got it, and Haid is ready to kick once again, with Jelks and Middleton back to receive. Haid's kick is towards Jelk, and it goes right through him. He's back in the end zone, and Jelk is going to take this one out. BC is going to be in trouble once again, deep inside their own end. Swarm tackled at about the 5. There is a flag, though.
No jokes on the return.
Yeah, I might have been inclined, and maybe he didn't have the instructions beforehand, but back in the end zone, this stage in the game, you might just want to kneel it down so you can get some field position here. But Jelk's obviously a dangerous ball carrier with open space. I mean, I'm sure he's ripped off a lot of big plays in the past, but this Saskatchewan coverage team is exceptional.
Jelks out of Mount Douglas in Victoria, and this penalty is against BC, so they continue to march back. Of course, there's only so much room to go.
Yeah, this might be a half the distance to the goal line type of scenario.
Not sure the referees are totally on the same page at the moment right now either.
Yeah, they're having a conversation about it, which I know sometimes that can be aggravating, waiting for the play to get called back in, but in all honesty, you know, when I'm coaching, I'd rather the refs confer, get the play right, and then communicate that as opposed to, you know, you're sort of left on the sidelines saying, you know, what the heck's going on here, right?
So they are having a chat with the Saskatchewan captains, which would indicate that the penalty is against BC. And they're leaving the ball right basically where Jelks was tackled on the 5. I wonder if perhaps maybe they decided that there wasn't a penalty on the play.
Yeah, they might have picked that one up maybe for an illegal block. Maybe it was the original call, and they might have picked that one up.
So BC at their own 5 once again. Aulak is standing basically on his goal line here.
Yeah. And he's got trips to the boundary here to the short side of the field, so maybe when they're bringing over a quads, they might ice up that wide out.
And they do, and good coverage there. Jake Mayo out of Lemberg. Did he go a little bit too early though? There's a flag on the far side of the field.
Yeah, that was close. I would have said the timing looked pretty good.
And it is pass interference.
It's pass interference, yeah. So he was just a little bit early there.
Maybe a split second ahead of the play, but you got to like the instincts there from that defensive back.
Oh, I do. I love the way he was able to break and get on that ball because, you know, that could have been a pick 6. And oftentimes when a defensive back is ISO'd up one-on-one with that much field, that's advantage offense. I mean, you have a lot of green space to throw that ball to the receiver. So tough play for a DB, and he was just a little bit early.
Aulak under some pressure here, forced to run it out, and he's going to get taken down in the backfield. Number 44, Lewis Rogers, out of Melfort with the sack.
Yeah, Rogers, big play, pressure from number 77, Istes, and 44, Rogers on the cleanup of the quarterback. And, you know, honestly, this BC quarterback looks athletic.
Aulak, yeah.
He looks very athletic, but this front from Saskatchewan is just so active and so quick. They move laterally so well that they're giving Aulak a lot of problems. Where normally, you know, he's probably able to get that edge and get positive yards.
Loss of 5 brings up 2nd and 15 here for BC. Aulak, 3 to the far side, 2 to the narrow side. Good throw, and it's a catch for number 4, Josh Van Konet out of Langley.
Biggest offensive play of the day for BC. You know, besides the turnover, this is, you know, I would say the second most important play for BC that they made there. Really important first down. Keep the ball going, keep the defense off the field, get something positive. And it's that seam, right? That was more like a skinny post route there by number 4, Van Konet. But I thought real good timing there. Ball was in a nice spot where he could run onto it as a receiver. So if you're a BC, that's something positive to work off of.
The gain takes them all the way up to the 38. This is kind of where they've stalled out a lot of the time. Aulak, and that's a good defensive play there. The linebacker Rogers in coverage swats it down.
Yeah, that wasn't going to go anywhere. Rogers, you know, Rogers was kind of all over the running back in the backfield there, like a second jersey or a blanket there. So yeah, even if the offensive player had caught the ball, he wasn't getting anywhere.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 here for BC.
Now let's see if BC has a reverse or something. You know, Saskatchewan just plays so fast, so aggressive. See if you can use that against them, maybe with some misdirection or a reverse.
Aulak has Brooks behind him, and the whistle goes. And once again, time count violation against Team BC.
Now, I haven't had a high school game in BC for 2016 was the last time I took a team when I was still coaching the Belrose Bulldogs. I'm not sure what they have in high school football for BC in terms of time clocks.
Right.
Is it more American? Is it 35 seconds? Is it 40 seconds? Are they having a hard time adjusting to the quick 20-second count here?
Blitz coming. Aulak just chucks it up. And that's going to be thrown away, and there might be a roughing the passer call here. Owen Zimmer out of Luther bust through the line, and he was there early on Aulak, who was forced to just throw it away.
Yeah, I love the way Zimmer timed up that blitz. That was perfection. The only thing he did wrong there was he kept driving his legs after the ball was gone. So the officials are gonna look for the defensive player to let up, quit driving the feet, sort of throw up the arms. But he kept wrapping and driving, and that's why they're gonna call an unnecessary roughness against roughing the passer there.
So the penalty brings the ball up to the BC 47-yard line. We've got 8 minutes to go, second quarter. Saskatchewan up 21-0. Aulak once again has Riley Brooks behind him. Aulak slings it out quick. Again, it's behind, but Douglas makes the catch, and he is going nowhere. Wrapped up on the far side there. Looks like that's 21, Jacob Fair out of Rosetown.
Yeah, and so that little, again, wide receiver hitch screen there, I thought the receiver did a pretty good job to adjust as that ball was thrown about a yard or two too far behind the line of scrimmage. Ideally, you want to get that pass to that upfield shoulder so the receiver can catch it and then be looking north-south right away to make a move and get positive yardage. And the whole timing of the blocking is thrown off if the receiver has to retreat and catch that off the back shoulder.
Loss of 4 here brings up 2nd and 14 for BC. Aulak, everything's been out of the gun for BC. Blitz coming again, pass over the middle through the hands, excuse me, of Van Conant. There is a flag down. I wonder if Saskatchewan maybe went a little bit too soon there.
Yeah, and Van Conant sort of, that's a tough catch right over the middle. He's got 2 linebackers, vicing in on him, one from either side with his hands way up in the air and his ribs exposed. I believe Tim Enger, technical director of Football Alberta, I think he used to call those rib sandwiches right there, throwing up a rib sandwich, right?
So the penalty was offside against BC, so I wonder if the timing of Saskatchewan's blitz maybe forced the O-line to just jump a little bit. 3rd and 14, and it's going to be kicked away here by Aulak, and it's going to go out of bounds. Where do they spot it? Right at the Saskatchewan 50. So Saskatchewan's actually going to start in their own half for the first time here this game.
Again, little victories, right? That's the best third down play we've seen so far from BC, where they actually get net plus 15 or so yards off the punt. So, again, it's not the 30 yards you're hoping for, but at least Saskatchewan starts on their own side of the yellow stripe for the first time.
Let's see what Elias Flory and crew can do here. And a jet sweep once again. It's in the hands of Haid. Haid dodges one. Can he get to the wide side here? Turn up field. He does, and he's gang tackled right at about the 53 of BC. Number of Team BC players involved. Colby Daniel, Sholin Bauer.
Yeah, BC there, and again, I like to see the defense not let up, right? They've been on the field a long time. They're probably getting tired, but they rally right to that sideline, and they get 2-3 guys in on the tackle.
Gain of 7 brings up 2nd and 3 for Saskatchewan. Flory, man in the backfield, 3 to the wide side, 2 to the near side. And it is a handoff, and running right up the middle is Brody Komarnicki out of Bishop James Montey in Saskatoon.
Yeah, Komarnicki came in as the 3rd running back when Saskatchewan played Alberta, and just really no letdown with these Saskatchewan ball carriers. I mean, I was impressed with all 3 running backs in the stable, and really good inside run there to get, 10+ yards on that
10
carry.
yards. So that'll take them to the BC 43 as Saskatchewan marches fresh out of downs here. Flory flings it up the middle, and it's right in between 2 of the BC defenders. Intended target was Tyson Green.
Yeah, I think Green was expecting a hit there. Green's about 6'3", wingspan like an albatross there, but maybe looked a little bit more like an alligator reaching out for that one. And again, that was a pass that was thrown into a danger area there, where he's beating himself up about it right now, but he could have got teed off on pretty bad there.
So 2nd and 10 for Saskatchewan, and they fake the handoff. Little dump here to Jewell. Jewell makes a man miss. He's got a first down and a little bit more as Jewell gets inside the 30.
I'm a big fan of that play, that little play action. It looks like an inside zone run play, but you have a slot back come in motion across the other side. I call it always like a little hide route where he just comes out the other side of the line of scrimmage, and he's usually wide open in the flats. That's hard to defend a lot of the time. Those receivers sort of disappear behind the line of scrimmage. It's a great play to get the ball to a playmaker, to a running back, slot back hybrid the way Jewell is. Get him the ball in space. Great play.
1st and 10 from the BC 30 for Flory. Flory airing it out, got a man, it's caught, and it's Green in for a touchdown. 2 on the game for Tyson Green. That one about a 30-yard pass and catch play, and Saskatchewan's lead grows.
Nice corner route by Green, and a real nice touch on the ball by Flory. And that's what I mean with Flory. You look at his release, and it may not be, you know, the prettiest release in high school football, but that young quarterback from Saskatchewan puts the ball where it needs to be. And hey, credit to Green. Yeah, it makes amends for that one where maybe he didn't stretch all the way out on like he could have. So nice to see the player bounce back like that. Good play by Saskatchewan.
Haid out there to try to convert for the 4th time. And he does it to make it 28-0. Haid looks like he's got a leg on him, doesn't he?
Yeah, I noticed that, yeah. Haid looks like he could be hitting 35-plus yard field goals, no problem. And again, tall, lanky, 87 reminds me of Ed McCaffrey, who the young people today probably don't know. It's Christian McCaffrey's dad, okay? If you're Gen Zer, right? It's he played for the Denver Broncos for a lot of years. Big, tall, rangy target. And Saskatchewan's got a couple of those receivers, and what we haven't seen Saskatchewan do yet today is throw up that wide receiver fade route, and they were successful against Alberta doing that. You know, and with 28-0, we may or may not see it, but they've got the weapons to utilize such a play. So we might see that. We also might see the second quarterback go in and just sort of ground and pound here for the rest of the day, up 4 majors here with 4.5 to go in the half.
I think if you mention the name Christian McCaffrey and the Carolina Panthers in these parts, I think it's illegal if you don't talk about Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it is.
Local products.
Should be illegal. I mean, that guy gave me nightmares for a couple years having to coach against him. I couldn't sleep all week, for real. I couldn't sleep.
He was back home not long ago running a camp with a couple other NFLers. Here's a nice return. Jelks once again. Still Jelks on his feet. Getting up near the 50. Looked like he was dead at about the 35. And Saskatchewan might have let up just a little bit there.
They might have. And Jelks again, little nifty footwork, cutting it back in. He's doing his Chuba Hubbard impersonation here at this field. That Chuba made a lot of those moves on this field his senior year. But yeah, nice return by Jelks. Love the way he didn't go out of bounds. Again, down 28-0. Penalty against BC is going to bring it back. But
long way back too from the looks of things, unfortunately.
A UR, but a lot of players, you know, would have just gone out of bounds down 28-0. He didn't. He turned it back in for more yards. So I love the effort there by Jelks.
So this one, unfortunately, going to come all the way back to the BC 15-yard line. That's a net loss of. My math was never my strongest suit, but about 35 yards, unfortunately.
Yeah.
New quarterback in here is Morgan Crisp, sorry. Chad?
No, I was just going to say that those are backbreakers when you have those penalties that wipe out 30, 40 yards of real estate.
Well, they tried to get it right back in the hands of Jelks, and he lost a couple. Morgan Crisp, the new quarterback, Comox Valley Raiders. Courtney out on Vancouver Island.
So we'll see maybe if with the new quarterback in, if they're not more likely to have some quarterback designed runs or something. Oftentimes the number 2 quarterback will sort of take on that role.
It's going to be 2nd and 12 here after that short loss. Crisp, lots of motion in the BC backfield. I think that might be more confusion than play design. Crisp gets away from one, got some time and decides to pull it down, take it himself, and he ran right into number 24, Owen Effa there, who made a good open field tackle. This one is going to be a gain of about 7 yards, but still leaves them 5 short here.
Yeah, Effa, you know, I can say the same about any DB in a black jersey. They just don't miss tackles in open space. They really don't. technically very, very sound, just the way he angles in, has his butt to the sidelines. Really good tackle in open space, and they make it look easy, and it's not easy. You watch most high school games, you know, these DBs out there in wide open space, they oftentimes miss or sort of get dragged and become speed bumps, but these young guys for Saskatchewan, man, they play it exceptionally well. You know, I wasn't sure BC had a receiver, eligible receiver on the line of scrimmage to the far side there. It looked like there was all that confusion. I saw two receivers motioning across, but I'm not sure either one got up to the line of scrimmage before the snap of the ball. But, you know, the refs let that one slide anyways at this stage. Unless there was an added tight end I missed somewhere, but...
So it is going to be 3rd and 5 for Team BC. So we've seen them go for it at least every time, and sometimes they'll pull off the quick kick. We'll see what they do this time. There's the 3-minute warning as well.
Yeah, if Allock's back there, it could be the quick kick, but
it's still crisp.
It's not, it's crisp, so I'd look for them to go for it here on 3rd down.
So here we go, 3rd down. BC needs to get to the 25-yard line for a first. Crisp in trouble, trying to get away. Now he's got a little bit of room. Got the first down. Oh, it looked like Morgan Crisp was going to lose yards there, but instead able to weasel his way forward for a first down.
Wow. Good-looking athlete, Crisp as well. Really good-looking athlete, because again, there was a couple of red helmets in that backfield reaching out, and from what we've seen in recent past is quarterbacks don't usually escape that very well. So good job for Crisp to pick up that first down for Team BC, and the most important thing is keep that BC defense on the sidelines. They've been out there a lot today, so offense gets 3 more tries here with the football.
Those red helmets, Caleb Charlton and Owen Istis, 76-77, both out of Weyburn. So shout out Southeast Saskatchewan.
That's why I said they build them tough in Southern Saskatchewan.
And do we have another time count against BC? We sure do.
Yeah, and I can't help but wonder if they're used to a longer play clock to get the play in, because that's been, what is that, about 5 or 6 time counts we've seen this half?
Fortunately, that's not one of the things I had looked up prior to coming into this game. Let's see what referees are having a conversation again here. It is a time count.
Yeah.
Oh, it's declined. That's why. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 here for BC, and we'll keep the ball right at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, that loss it down when you're in under the 3-minute warning. Yeah, that's a real killer.
So 2nd and 10 for Crisp and BC. Crisp under some pressure once again, trying to step up in the pocket, got away from one, and then ran into a wall of black sweaters.
Yeah, that D-line, early penetration from 75, I believe that was.
Josh Reed?
Yeah, Josh Reed in there, and then again, we see the Weyburn boys reaching in there. 99, Liam Ty makes himself known at the D end, so Crisp lucky. I mean, Crisp looks like he's a strong athlete too. I mean, he's fighting and scratching just to get back to the line of scrimmage there. That could have been a 3-4 yard loss.
They gave him a loss of about 1, so it'll be 3rd and 11 here for BC. They need to get to the 38-yard line, and lining up way deep here is Silas Douglas, so this might just be a punt for BC.
Sure looks that way.
And Douglas, not a bad boot, a little bit low. Favorable bounce, and it's picked up here by John Grace. And he brings it back close to the 45 of BC, and that's where Saskatchewan will take over with 92 seconds left in the opening half.
Yeah, and Grace took a pretty big pop there by, I think that was Dylan Gilbert, right? Number 20, was that 28? Hard to see up here, but yeah, 28. Gilbert's got some good size there. Gets a nice shot in on the return man.
Gilbert out of North Vancouver, 6'2", 240.
Yeah, he's got the size of a defensive lineman.
Yeah. So it's still Elias Flory under center for Saskatchewan as they go to work once again in the BC half. Flory, look far side, now down the middle, and it should have been caught by Tyson Green, who dropped it, and maybe a little bit of pressure there.
Yeah, He was wide open. Fleury had all day to throw that ball. You know, he was able to reset his feet and then hit it deep. And again, a very nice pass from Fleury, a very catchable ball. But
Mateo Godbout out of Comox. Maybe just put the thought in his head that he was going to let him have it if he held on.
Yeah, he was coming full steam and makeup speed there.
Fleury, second and 10. They dump it off to Jewell. Flag is down. Looked like maybe... Oh, Jewell runs right over that guy. I was going to say it looked like maybe Saskatchewan's receiver on the near side here was a little bit ahead of the play, but once again, Thomas Jewell making plays.
Yeah, I thought the Saskatchewan receiver Holmes might have been offside, but man, this is... Get the ball to Jewell in space. He's entertaining. I like watching this young guy play. Man, it's coming back, but this is where again where I say that Jewell, he's built like a running back. You know, he's one of those hybrid slot back running back. I have no doubt in my mind you could put Jewell in the backfield as a true running back, and you probably really wouldn't have a letdown. And there's 3 fantastic back Saskatchewan employees already, but Jewell's just another one of those running back type guys playing in the slot back position.
He did have quite a size advantage there on number 6, Mikel Kasem out of Burnaby, who's listed at 5'7", 110. And he's lined up on the near side here. Fleury, second and 15, pass in the middle is caught by Jewell, up to the BC 40, still going to be about 3 yards shy of a first down here. But a decent gain for Team BC, and it looks like one of their players is down. That's David Martinez, 25, just taking a knee here, and calls for the training staff to come out.
Yeah, and I thought Martinez actually doled out a bit of a hit on Jewell there, but it's Martinez who's not getting up from that contact. And again, we can't see his back's turned towards us. We can't see which part of the body is hurt, but he is not able to get up right now. He's getting trainer's assistance, but that Jewell's solid. Hey, what's Jewell listed at?
Saskatchewan doesn't have the heights and the weights listed on their roster.
So
but
yeah, I was down there talking to some of the Saskatchewan coaches, just trying to get a feel for some of the players. It's hard up here to tell how big they are sometimes, right? And I think they said he's around 180 some pounds, so he's built solid.
So this is a good sight there as Martinez is making his way off the field under his own power. Seems to be all right, so hopefully just a stinger or something that he can bounce back from quickly.
Yeah, he looks like he's walking off well under his own steam, which is always good to see.
Another one of those Comox Valley Raiders.
There's a lot
playing
on this
the
team.
island, yeah.
And of course, head coach Jay Daniels from Comox Valley as well.
So again, the Gadget quarterback, Batke's in, and here comes Batke running away with it inside the 15 for Saskatchewan on a 3rd down and 3.
And I'm a huge fan of these quarterback designed runs, right? So a lot of times the defense is going to bite on that first motion with the running back, and you get pulling linemen that come around. You can run quarterback powers, quarterback counters, all sorts of nice plays you can run with your quarterback, and it's just you get that extra blocker, right? And that ball carrier then is harder to account for when he's the extra player.
So it's 1st and 10. We've got 50 seconds left. Batke's going to stay in here, so I wonder if they'll allow him to kind of make something up on the fly again. And it looks like what's going to happen. Design play, and that's a great tackle on the edge there. 16 for BC is Kyle Agiagos out of Argyle Secondary in North Vancouver.
Oh, Agiagos, that was a beautiful tackle in open space. Shoestring tackle. Otherwise, number 16 in black gets the edge, and it could have been a walk-in touchdown to the corner of the end zone. So, excellent tackle.
A loss of 2 on the play for Saskatchewan, so they'll 2nd and 12 as they put Fleury back in under center. Got 3 receivers to that far side. Borsch is right beside him, 2 to the near side. That's where he's looking. Corner route run perfectly, and it's caught. Jewell, a touchdown for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, Jewel, before the half is out, is making a case again for Offensive Player of the Game. Jewel's looking good, but again, Floyd throws a really nice ball on that corner route. So just a bit of a, looked like a bit of a, we call a smash concept here, where the wide receiver is going to run a hitch or something very, very shallow, and the slot back on the 2 receiver side is going to run a deep corner route, and it's usually an either-or read for the quarterback on that corner, and they execute it to perfection. They made that one look easy.
Haid with 18 seconds left in this first half will look to keep his streak of conversions perfect, and he does, right down Broadway once again.
And the coverage is good.
Yeah, I want to see Haid attempt. He got the 1 field goal against Alberta, but maybe the BC defense can hold up a little bit in the second half, and we'll see Haid with a couple of field goal attempts, because he does have quite the leg.
I think that's the problem right now. If you're BC, you just haven't been able to stop Saskatchewan, aside from the one time that there was a fumble earlier in the first quarter. Everything else has gone into the end zone.
Yeah, and when Saskatchewan starts with a short field, BC is not doing themselves any favors at all. It's hard to keep the team in black out of the end zone.
So we see Jelks and Middleton back to receive once again for Team BC as Haid gets set to kick it off. Only 18 seconds left to go, though, in this opening half. So if something's going to happen, it's going to happen thanks to a big return here.
And this is where maybe they have a gadget or a reverse or something on the return that they can pull out.
Well, we've seen Jelks come up with a decent return. Unfortunately brought back due to a penalty. Let's see what happens this time. Haid, just a little squibbler right down the middle. It's into the hands of Jelks, who's looking to build up some speed here, and another great tackle in the open field. Jackson Thorne.
Yeah, linebacker out of O'Neill High School in Regina. And Thorne does a good job. He wasn't blocked. He came down on the down the field, unblocked, and he makes the tackle in open space. So coaches always run those speed avoid drills to simulate special teams. And Saskatchewan, again, it's just these little things that Saskatchewan is so crisp on, and they're looking good in every facet of the game again today. So credit to Coach Schneider and his staff, because they've got Saskatchewan looking very good.
Morgan Crisp, still the QB for BC here. And Crisp looks like he wants to call his own number, but immediately all over him there was Reed. And also joining the fray was Hunter Lorson.
Yeah, 2 guys in the backfield seems to be a pretty common theme watching the Saskatchewan team. There's often 2 D linemen or a linebacker and a D lineman in the backfield, and I said their first game of this showcase challenge against Alberta, they did a really good job of reestablishing the line of scrimmage, where there's always a couple of players living a yard or 2 deep in the backfield disrupting plays.
There's a loss of 6 here. Clock has reached 0, so this will be the final play of the first half, barring any penalties. Chris hands it off, and a big-time stick-em tackle right there. And once again, Hunter Larson out of Bethlehem.
Larson's saying, man, get my name called a little bit. All these other D linemen get their name called, and he's making a statement.
So that brings us to the end of half number 1. It's been all Saskatchewan here as they lead it 35-0. Chad, just your overall assessment of the half from both teams here.
Well, domination by Saskatchewan, and again, we want to be positive in regards to Team BC. They just don't look as polished as Saskatchewan. Obviously, struggling getting the plays in on time. They don't have a punt team, which is really hurting them. But we see some great individual efforts on the part of BC. We see some receivers going out. We see some good tackling on defense. But overall, Saskatchewan, just as a team, as a whole, they look like a well-oiled machine, and they are clicking in every single facet of the game.
What do you want to see from both teams here in half number 2?
Well, I think, and again, I probably sound like a broken record for the people that tuned into the first game, where I would like to see BC try to stretch the ball down the field. Take your shots. You got a couple of these really athletic weapons at receiver. Maybe ISO one up, throw up a 50-50 ball, and just say, we're going to count on our guy to go get it. We know these DBs of Saskatchewan can tackle. They can rally and they can tackle. can they play the ball in the air at a high point? You know, test them down the field, because down 35-0, they're not going to get back in this game with a ground and pound style trying to run the ball. And quite frankly, that Saskatchewan front seven is too good to do that to anyways. So, and if I'm on Team Saskatchewan, what I would probably like to see, more of the same. You know, keep doing what you're doing, because you're running the ball well, you're throwing the ball well, defensively you're playing very well. You know, if anything, and this is a little bit critical, I would say, hey, D-line, you're in the backfield so much, but we've missed a few tackles in the backfield. Make sure you make those tackles. But, you know, this is a game where, again, the BC players, you know, they have their school logos on their helmets. They're playing representing their province. So these guys have a lot of pride, and I would look for them to if anything, pick up the effort and the enthusiasm in the second half. They've got one half left, and build something positive so they can play Team Alberta in a few days, because Alberta had almost just as hard a time against Saskatchewan as BC is. So you want to build up some momentum and something positive for next game.
Players have headed off for a break. We'll take a quick break as well. This is the Football Alberta Under-18 Future Showcase, brought to you by IC Live. BC can get some positive momentum rolling here in half number 2, and like you were saying, Chad, before we took a break, that's half the battle right now. Saskatchewan seems to be maybe a step above Alberta and BC at the moment, but BC knows they've got another game coming up, and so you got to build some positive vibes for that one.
That's just right. I mean, BC, this isn't it for BC. So have some momentum going here to end the game, and look to rebound against Team Alberta, because Team Alberta was shut out from Team Saskatchewan a few days ago. And if you're Team Saskatchewan, you're saying, this is it, man. This is it. This is the end of our showcase. So let's end on a positive note. And if Saskatchewan D, I'm sure the rallying point is going to be hold that goose egg, right? Hold that goose egg. If they go the whole showcase without letting in a point, that would be a tremendous accomplishment. And offensively, they had 38 last game. They're at 35 now. I'm sure they're going to want to better that. So, it's a beautiful day for football.
Yes.
We're lucky we get to be out here on a beautiful day watching tremendous athletes play football in the month of July. So, I'm enthused for this second half to start, and I'm sure we're going to see some positive things from Team BC.
Nice little crowd, too, here. Obviously, parents, friends, family coming in from both BC and Saskatchewan. Obviously, there's a lot of green and white jerseys. It is a Rider game day, too, to be fair, as they play Toronto later today. So, doubleheader of football for those in the 306.
That's what I thought last night when I set my PVR to record, because I'm at that age where I can PVR games once I put the girls to bed. I can watch it afterwards, and I'm not on my phone. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened, right? So I'm looking forward to watching the Rider game at some point this evening, probably a few hours after it actually happened. That's right. So for all the people of Saskatchewan, not a bad way to start the day with with another dominant performance here, and I'm sure they're hoping for more of the same this evening.
So BC will be kicking off here. This will be the first time we've seen Team BC kick off. And there you've even got the orange and black Lions-inspired uniforms here. And it looks like it's going to be Evan Sosted out of North Vancouver who has the ball and will place it on the tee. He's going to be doing the kickoff duty here.
Look for maybe a short kick or something. Just, again, a little spark play, I like to call them. Just something that can turn momentum in a hurry.
Borsch and Ambrose Abiara are back deep. We'll see if the ball gets there. That's not a bad kick at all, and it's in the hands of Abiara, and it's through him. And it's going to go towards the end zone, and he will pick it up and take it out. Abiara gets by 1 and is quickly taken down at the 2, so this is a good start to the second half. Momentum for BC.
That's the start BC's looking for. So I believe that was McLaughlin who ended up making the tackle on Arbiata. But Arbiata just tried to field that ball a little bit too high. He reached up way over his head for that ball, and it went off the fingertips. And for a second there, I thought he might kneel it down in the end zone. I said, that's not the way you want to give up the goose egg, right? I think he'd have a hard time on the way home with the players on defense if he gave that point up.
Batke is the quarterback for Saskatchewan here to start things off in quarter 3. Oh, BC forgot to pick up the kicking tee. That's the reason for the slight delay here. So here we go, Batke and crew. He's in the gun in his own end zone. Just quickly hands that one off, and a couple of yards maybe there close to the 5 for Saskatchewan. I was trying to get a number there. Is that 15? Looks like Kopaz.
Taylor Kopaz, the ball here.
Yeah, Kopaz in there again. He a pretty explosive running back. He's ripped off some nice chunks of yardage in this little showcase event.
Gain is 3 on the play.
So gain of 3 brings up 2nd and 7 from their own 5 for Batke and Saskatchewan. Batke looking to throw this one. Got a man behind coverage and just out of the reach of Ty Holmes.
Great protection there by the offensive line. They're giving Flory all day to throw that ball. And again, just looking for that slot back on the deep corner route, just inches overthrown. So will be interesting. You know, a lot of times backed up inside your 5, you might see a punt team take a safety here. But if I'm Saskatchewan, I'm punting this ball. I'm not putting points on the board for Team BC. My defense has been holding. If I'm a Saskatchewan coach, I'm saying we're punting this ball. We're going to go cover it.
You got Haid too with that big leg, so let's see what you can do. First punt of the game for Saskatchewan. And Haid, not too bad at all. Fielded at the 40, but on the run there by Agiagos, and he has just got nowhere to go. Saskatchewan hoping that the ball popped out before he hit the ground. Not the case here, and Team BC will take over. And it looks like they're going to be starting at about the 31, so great field position for Team BC.
Yeah, really good field position. And again, that was pretty good coverage again by Team Saskatchewan. They're led by 36 running down the field, Connor Tyson. And he tackled like a linebacker there on the coverage teams. But, BC, again, a couple of positive things here to start the second half. So we'll see if the offense can capitalize.
Morgan Crisp, the QB for BC. Their first possession of this half. Fakes the throw, now just dumps it off, and fighting his way forward is Dahl. Ethan Dahl trying to run men over. Big kid there.
Yeah, I saw Ethan Dahl line up in the backfield. I'm like, hey, let's see some of this, man. If there's one thing I love besides quarterback runs, it's having a big old running back. And you saw him release on that nice little Texas route, that little sort of inside slant. He's open, so I'm hoping we see him with the ball a couple more times. He's going to be a load for that Saskatchewan defense to bring down.
Dahl 5'8", 215, so low center gravity. Built a little bit like a bowling ball, you could say, which is perfect for this sport. Chris, oh, what a big sack there. Taking him down was Skipper.
Yeah, Skipper impressed me. And this is a really impressive linebacking core. And I thought Skipper played as well as any of those linebackers in the first game against Alberta. He's a player that's got some real pop and plays with some real juice. So, boy, that's a devastating sack.
So they gave it a loss of 9 here. So second and 19 for BC. They are currently at the Saskatchewan 33-yard line. Not sure what they have for field goal kickers, but they're going to need some positive yards here either way. Crisp flings it up, and trying to reach there was Jelks, but is a little bit too far, and got a Saskatchewan player down, clutching his knee behind the play. That's Liam Ty, number 99.
Yeah, that defensive end, he sort of spiked inwards, it looked like, as it looked like Skipper was looping around off the edge there. So I couldn't see what happened to him there, but it doesn't look good when a player clutches their knee.
It's definitely the most uncomfortable we've seen a player during an injury so far. So hopefully Ty is okay. They're working on the right knee. 9 minutes left to go in quarter 3, and BC, well, what do you think they're going to do here, Chad? They're 3rd and 19 from about their the 29-ish yard line. We haven't seen them kick a ton.
Yeah, I would say they're, well, 1, they're not punting.
Yeah.
2, I don't think they'll attempt a field goal at this point. I would say maybe look for number 88 down the seam again. They've seemed to like that play. I believe
Austin Dunnell.
Yeah, Dunnell. He's had some nice giddy up off the line where he's able to hit that seam. So they might go to something like that. The problem when you're at 3rd and long is a lot of these route concepts take time to develop, and the quarterback's not going to have a whole lot of time to get rid of the ball because that Saskatchewan front is just so good. And again, we've seen them pressure and we've seen them make sacks. And if anything, I think that that sack led to the quarterback releasing that ball a little bit quickly on the last play on that wheel route by Jelks. So that's sort of the trick playing against the Saskatchewan defense. You want to get the ball downfield, but you don't have a whole lot of time to do it. So maybe the quick seam, or I still say try to ISO up. Number 19 here has a lot of good size on the short side of the field here to the boundary. So maybe throw one up for number 19. Let him go get it.
See what Chris does here under pressure. He does throw it up into the area of both 19s, and it's Chase Murray out of Miller with the interception for Saskatchewan. And, well, it's going to be deep in BC territory once again, or deep in Saskatchewan territory once again, pardon me, but another turnover for BC.
Yeah, issue with that throw. So they wanted to get 19 Woodward, not 19 Murray. The wrong 19 there. And 19 Murray for Saskatchewan, very opportunistic DB. He was in the right place at the right time against Alberta on several occasions and had interceptions. He's a very good defensive back, but he's not the tallest guy in the world. And so what you want to do is you want to be able to make sure you throw that ball up closer to the sidelines, get some air under it, and let the big receiver use his height and go up for it. Because really the receiver had no chance on that ball. It was underthrown into the inside.
So they ruled it a touchback here. So they'll start at the 20. Batke quickly out of his hands here to Abiara. Abiara got some space down the sidelines. Finally get pushed out there by Godbout. There is a flag on the play. So we'll wait and see if this is going to come back. If not, it's a gain of 24 for Abiara and Team Saskatchewan.
They might call a hold.
Looks like it is going against Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I've seen this replayed a lot of times. I don't want to do any sort of being critical of the officials, but I have seen when the score is out of hand, where blocks get called holds that are, we might call them ticky-tack a little bit, right? By the letter of the law, maybe it is a bit of a hold. Some coaches argue, there's holding all the time. So that doesn't surprise me, but I thought that was a really good play by Team Saskatchewan.
So it'll be 1st and 15 now. Batke calling his own number again. Room for Batke, bouncing off a couple of guys. Still Batke, and he absorbs another big hit. That one from Godbout again, as he's up near close to the first down marker. Did they give him the extra yard for the first? They have.
I think they did.
So this is a first down for Saskatchewan, a 16-yard run for the quarterback.
Hey, that's what I like seeing, though. I mean, yeah, the game's not close on the scoreboard, but again, you're watching the team play, and there's no letdown. So Godbout, he's a hitter, and he's coming at you. But on the same side, a lot of quarterbacks would be looking to hit the turf fast. Not this young man wearing jersey number 16, Batke.
1st and 10, Saskatchewan. Batke flings it out quickly. Abiara can't come up with it. A little bit of a low throw there.
Yeah, ideally he gets that ball up into the numbers of Abiara, so that Abiara can, again, like we saw with that little hitch screen, he can have the time then to secure that ball and get up and then out towards the sidelines. That's the way those plays are drawn up. And I thought Saskatchewan did it textbook. Unfortunately for them, they got called on the hold.
2nd and 10 now with under 8 minutes left, quarter number 3 for Batke and Saskatchewan. 3 to the far side. And maybe a little bit of confusion there, but it's in the hands of Komarnicki, and Komarnicki gets tackled close to the 40, so he is still going to be a couple of yards short here of a first down. Should be 3rd and 2 for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, good tackle by Martinez, and I wasn't sure if that was a bit of a broken play or if that's the designed sort of counter, because it almost looks like the quarterback back, he's going to roll out. Again, didn't look real smooth in the backfield, but still, successful play. 3rd and 2.
It was good to see 25 back out there for BC after he was down with a bit of a knock earlier. Looks like Saskatchewan going to punt this on 3rd and 2. Hayde, and there is a penalty coming up here. This one will trickle toward the 40-yard line, picked up and nowhere to go there for Dylan Woodward.
Yeah, good coverage. The flags seem to come out as soon as the ball is snapped, which could be offsides on the D, so Alberta offense should be back out on the field. That's those are backbreakers on 3rd down, and you get an offside.
So it is indeed offside against this BC defense. So Saskatchewan gets a freebie, fresh set of downs here, as they are now at the 44-yard line.
Someone's got to tell BC that the O-line's out there.
They weren't quite aware, I don't think, that they had taken that penalty.
The offensive line always loves an added 35-yard sprint one way and back, don't they? Just what those boys want.
And BC's going to take a timeout to get themselves organized here, and I think that's probably the right decision.
Yeah, they were going to be discombobulated and perhaps out of position running on the field that late. But I can't tell you how many times I've lost my voice yelling on third down situations to the punt return team to not jump, right? Don't jump when it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and the offense has their punt team out there.
And that's exactly what they're trying to do too, is get you to jump.
It's exactly it, right? And yeah, over the years we've had a lot of teams jump, you know. So I'm always cognizant of that, and I know that's just a killer for the coaches to see that happen, right? And then it's deflating because now the defense is back out there. They say, well, we just held these guys, man. We just held them, and now we're back out here again. So look for BC to maybe dial up some pressure here. See if we can start sending some linebackers. I'm not sure, you know, what they have in their defensive playbook in terms of exotic blitz schemes or anything, but whatever you have in there, make sure you use it right now and try to get some momentum. And some people would say, well, they still have another game against Alberta. Maybe they don't want to show everything, but I would rather give Alberta more to prepare for and spark your team to play with enthusiasm and get some positive things happening.
Borsch on the carry here for Saskatchewan, and he will get up over the midfield stripe. Another strong run for number 34, Peter Borsch.
Yeah, I really like Borsch's vision there, and you see he's got the quick feet. It looks like he's able to cut on a dime, and a patient runner as well. He's got a lot of really nice assets for a running back at his age.
So Saskatchewan now into BC territory here at the 54-yard line. Backfield empties out. Little jet sweep once again into the hands of Holmes. Ty Holmes has a first down over the 40, up around the 37-yard line for the receiver out of Waka, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, nice blocking to get the edge on that jet or fly sweep. And what Saskatchewan's doing here in their last game of this showcase is they're giving some other players the ball. So, you know, we've seen Jewell showcase himself. You know, he's on the sidelines now with his helmet off, you know, engaged in watching the guys that were his backups in there playing. And so I always like seeing that when the number 2 man up is able to get the ball and showcase himself in events like these.
And Saskatchewan, too, obviously population a little bit different, but it's not guys from the big city schools. Like, look at the roster. We got guys from Waka, from Rosetown, from Lemberg, Melfort, Delisle, just outside of Saskatoon there, Milestone, like small schools. And I think the best thing is, if you can play, they'll find you.
Yeah, I love that, right? If you can play, you can play. And some of these guys aren't even playing 12-man ball.
That's right,
season,
too,
right?
Yep.
You know, they're playing 9-man. I think there's some 6-man ball as well
yep.
in some of those areas. So, no, I love to see. But if you're a football player, you're a football player. And good for this evaluation system and these coaches to take these players.
There is Holmes, the aforementioned Waka native, getting another couple of yards up over the 35-yard line.
Pass complete to Ty Holmes.
Looks like a gain of about 3 here. Should be 2nd and 7.
Brought down by Ben Wilson along with Bobby Daniels.
Yeah, and that play, again, pretty well defended from BC to limit the gain. But we got, looks like another man down there. I think that's number 30. Hard to tell from up here. Could be Colby Daniels.
Looks like Colby Daniels. It looks like a Raiders helmet, so this looks like a hand thing as well.
Yeah, holding that wrist, that hand a little bit.
Hopefully nothing serious. Maybe just a tape job. We'll get that right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Again, I'm not sure what the start date is for BC high school football, but here in the province of Alberta, you know, you're looking at mid-August, you know, like around that August 15th to 17th when most teams start to get back at her. So you really don't want to see some of these, and all these guys are, if they're not stars, they're impact players for their high school teams. You don't want to see them get banged up, hurt, and you know, you definitely don't want to see any injuries happen that would cause players to miss the start of their high school training camps or high school seasons.
But a great opportunity for these guys to get those reps in early. They should come into camp pretty much at 100% or close to it.
Oh yeah, and with confidence too.
Yes. Borsch, another run up the middle, trying to get through one, and Well, when you're surrounded by 5 or 6 orange jerseys, it's a little bit more difficult as BC finally wraps him up, but that is enough for another first down for Saskatchewan near the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and that's Borsch just running patiently with good vision again. And again, he does enough to get the first with that one little extra cut into open space, and he's able to absorb contact pretty good as well.
Just over 5 minutes left, third quarter here. Saskatchewan, this drive started with an interception, and they had the ball at their own 20. They made their way all the way down the field. This pass to Gage Prodel out of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, nice catch by Prodel, and then he turns it upfield for it looks to be about an 8, maybe 9-yard gain. Excellent little pitch and catch on first down.
Close to a first down. They're giving him 9, so it'll be 2nd and 1 for Team Saskatchewan.
Off the 17-yard line.
And we talked about Saskatchewan having a lot of great field position, but they've shown in this drive that they can go the length of the field as well. As this is a good call. Batke, we've seen him run. It just goes straight forward up the middle, picks up comfortably the first down and a little bit more.
Yeah, he's picking up over 5 yards on a quarterback sneak, and if you didn't tune in and see Saskatchewan's first game, he did that against Alberta as well. So it's not like you can say like, oh, this BC D-line, something's wrong with them. No, Saskatchewan was doing that last game as well. So credit to, again, the Saskatchewan offensive line there. The center and the guards really are key on that play.
Batke to the end zone, triple coverage, ball's up and it's down. They were looking for Prodal there, but there were 3 orange sweaters around him, and he still almost came down with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I love the effort by Prodal. I don't like the decision making by Batke to throw that one. That was not the best read there. He should have come off that read. He's lucky that wasn't intercepted.
I think one of the BC players might have just landed a little bit goofy there when everybody just going up for the ball.
Yeah, is that Agios again? Number 16. We've seen flash some nice plays this game as the wind picks up here.
It's tough to tell that far away. Might be Agios though, you're right, I think. 3:44 to go here in quarter 3. Mentioned the wind, it's blowing basically right into our booth here, so that's not helping the audio very much, but
yeah, and this is just a beautiful facility, but one thing I've noticed over the past years playing quite a few high school games here is the wind can really pick up, and you get that bit of that crosswind when you're down on the field playing.
It's kind of a bowl too, so you probably get a little bit of a swirl effect at times.
You do a little bit. We've had some games where punting's been actually really crucial, because you're either punting into that sort of that crosswind, and you can sort of angle it towards sidelines. So you do have to have the wind in mind when you play at this field.
Batke, 2nd and 10 for Saskatchewan. Looks like 2nd and goal, actually. There's a chance. Waka! You can celebrate because Ty Holmes has a touchdown here, and it's more points on the board for Saskatchewan.
That's right. Scoring touchdowns like they're going out of style here, Team Saskatchewan. And I thought that ball, and we've seen them run the fades, that looked like a little bit of a slot fade. I don't think it was an intended corner out. It looked more like a slot fade. That's sort of a little bit intentionally underthrown with a little bit of air so that the receiver can adjust to it. And wow, not bad for Holmes coming in here as a guy who has not been featured a lot in the offense to make a couple of big plays, including a big touchdown to cap off the drive.
Haid with another conversion, and that'll increase the lead to 42 here for Team Saskatchewan. So BC definitely started that third quarter off with some really positive plays. They had Saskatchewan deep in their own territory, but what a drive that was from Saskatchewan, starting at their own 20 and marching it all the way down for 7 more.
It was, and that's where, again, offside penalty against Team BC on the punt return. Those are just backbreakers, and coaches know that. Coaches preach turnovers, and that's the equivalent of a turnover, because you have a team stopped, but you give them another chance with the ball, and Saskatchewan is just too good of an offense to be giving extra opportunities to. So I would look for BC in the remainder of this football game to really clean up some of the mental aspects of the game, so that when they're playing Alberta in a few days from now, we don't see these time count violations, these offsides, or confusion in the backfield late to getting out there into formation. So look for BC to clean up the mentals. Football's not just a physical game, right? Football is as mental as any sport out there. So look for BC to be a little bit sharper in that regard.
Mentioned that Alberta-BC contest coming up on Wednesday morning, and we'll have that one for you as well. Hopefully you can join us. And first, we got another quarter and a bit here. This is a bouncing ball, and it's eventually fielded, and it's Middleton there.
I thought 75 Reed had an opportunity on that ball, but he didn't play it, and I'm not sure if he just caught him by surprise. I always joke sometimes the linemen, he's been playing D-tackle, say sometimes the linemen are a little bit agoraphobic, right? They get into open spaces, they kind of freeze up. They're not used to being in open spaces, but shows you the level of athleticism that a D lineman can be down on the coverage teams and be right there at the point of attack.
But it's still going to be Morgan Crisp for BC for this series. Just over 3 minutes left in quarter number 3. Crisp under some pressure here and taken down from behind. Once again, Hunter Larson.
Yeah, Larson saying, man, don't forget about me. I mean, yeah, hear all about these Weyburn boys and stuff with the red helmets. Do not forget about me. Larson is making a statement for Defensive Player of the Game right now as well. He's like a Tasmanian devil coming off that line.
That's a loss of 7.
For loss of 8, it'll be second and 8.
Well, they just announced 8, so close enough. It's second and long for BC, and Crisp 3 to the near side, 2 to the wide side here, and now the running back splits out. Crisp, a little bit more time, and decides to take off himself, and once again, those defensive backs able to stop him up, and then everybody joins the party as Crisp got back to maybe the original line of scrimmage, but not much farther.
Yeah, a couple things I really like on that play. One, the moxie shown by Crisp, the quarterback. The fact that he's still moving his feet, he's still juking and jiving and trying to keep the legs pumping to get positive yards. And the way the Saskatchewan defense rallies to the ball. What do we see, about 5 helmets in on that tackle? Man, that's the way to coach gang tackling on a defense.
So they ruled it a 3rd and 9 here. So time for BC to do something, and the snap a little bit bobbled, and it almost wound up working for them, as cutting across there was that 88 Dunnell, and it hit him. The snap hit him as he was running in front of the quarterback. Yeah. Fortunately, he was able to pick it up. It is going to be a turnover.
Heads up play by Dunnell. I mean, I've coached offenses where we've messed up the timing on that. I don't ever recall getting a bounce that lucky. Normally when that happens, it kind of ends up going off a lineman's butt then too, and is kind of fumbled around in the backfield for a big loss. But Dunnell kind of gets the lucky bounce, and at least he got positive yards there. They don't convert on 3rd down, but it could have been a disaster.
They got about 5 of the 9 that they needed. Looks like Saskatchewan was short a player there, as Batke and crew go back to work.
So Fontaine here to the boundary, wide receiver here on the short side of the field. He looked impressive in the 4th quarter last week. See if they get him the ball.
Well, they tried to. They just threw it a little bit high. That's Datiel Fontaine of Walter Murray.
Yeah, we just had glimpses of him last game, but speed and explosiveness. It was the 4th quarter. He got nicked up a little bit, so it's nice to see him out here able to play. But he definitely has some burst. So, and he hasn't, to my recollection, had the ball here today. So see if they force feed him the ball a little bit.
2nd and 10 for Saskatchewan. Batke with time, dumps it over the middle to Prodal. Oh, he almost got away from that tackle there, Martinez, and going to wind up being about 3 yards shy of the 1st down, so it's going to be at the 32, And I think we're going to see Hayden come out for a field goal attempt here.
That's what I've been waiting for since early in the second quarter. Here we go. So good tackle by Martinez now to get the field goal unit in. Otherwise, if he doesn't make that tackle, it's a long gain. So Martinez, another player on BC who's putting himself in, I'd say, a candidate for Defensive Player of the Game for Team BC.
Well, actually, it's going to be a punt, unfortunately. It would have been about 42 or so, maybe with this wind. A little bit tricky, but this thing hangs up, and it's taken at the 5 and not much further for BC. And you can see in there, 24 for Saskatchewan. Effa just trying to rip that thing loose, but able to squeeze it was Daniels.
Yeah, I like that effort by Effa trying to get the ball out. The players wrapped up, next guy in, go for the ball. Man, a lot of these players in black just really well coached, and again, Coach Schneider and his staff need to get a lot of credit for having this team looking so sharp, so prepared, so crisp. Not an easy thing to do with limited practice.
BC is up against it here, starting from their own 8-yard line. Crisp out of the gun once again. Hits this one away, and it's caught by Douglas, and that is going to be a first down for BC. So nice little route across the middle, and Silas Douglas picks up about 11.
Yeah, that's about as good a play as any as we've seen on first down for BC, especially backed up deep in their own end zone. So again, it's these little steps, these small victories for BC. Yeah, one first down on a play that went 10+ yards. See if you can build off of that now, right? We're not saying they're going to go all the way down the field and score points, but build off of that initial first down now.
Crisp gets some blocks. Now he's in trouble, and just holding on for dear life there was Ezra Baker-Smith, number 72, out of Milestone. And he just held on for as long as he could until help arrived.
Yeah, he's holding on, and then Carter Hogan, D. Lyman out of Moose Jaw in there to finish it off. So again, 2 D linemen that we haven't really mentioned. This team's deep. The Saskatchewan team's deep. You got guys that have been sort of coming off the bench, non-starters. At this level, I hate calling them backups because they're all stars, but guys that didn't start the game, and they're in there making plays. And again, it's not always all about the sacks, it's about the pressure. So a quarterback gets sacked, he's feeling the pressure, right? He's feeling the pressure next time. So again, really good job, good effort by this defensive line. And I love the way that all 4 D linemen out there are all athletes. They're not just 2-gap sort of run stuff, big wide guys. They're all guys that can move. They can spike gaps, penetrate. Interior guys can loop to the outside. So really nice to see that at this level of football.
Loss of about 5 there on that sack, and it was the final play of the third quarter as well. So it'll be second and, well, they say 16 here to start quarter number 4 as we flip sides once more.
Might be a nice time for a screen pass if BC has one in, a little running back screen. Not sure if they have that in their playbook, but could be a good time for that. Well, they empty out the backfield.
Crisp over the middle, nice throw, and it's caught. And that's Noah Jelks, and he's got a first down for Team BC.
I like what I'm seeing out of number 13, Noah Jelks. He's listed as 150 pounds, which the little guys always like to add more weight to them. I get that. If he's 150 pounds, that might be with shoulder pads and helmet on, but he is quick, he is fast, and shows a tremendous amount of effort. So let's see, maybe they'll feature Jelks a little bit more in this fourth quarter.
Nice first down for Crisp and Team BC as they get a fresh set of downs here at about the 33-yard line. Crisp steps up in the pocket once again, decides to just take off, starts to protect the football, and getting there first was Jackson Thorne, and he didn't let him get very far. Going to be a run of about 7, maybe 8 here for Crisp. It'll be second and short for Team BC.
Yeah, I'll take that on first down. You know, Crisp didn't like what he saw down the field, and he's an athlete, so go use your legs, get 7 yards, live to play another down. Second and short. Playbook's open here for Team BC. Easily could be running the ball here. They're not forced into a passing situation.
We know they're very unlikely to kick it away on third down, so it almost feels like you've got 2 tries here to get these couple of yards. See what Crisp does. He's got Dahl right beside him. Now they all split out wide, and Crisp just runs right back against the grain here. Although he sure didn't get very far. Outstanding tackling by Saskatchewan, and is this going to be a loss here of maybe a half yard?
Yeah, I sure don't think he gained any. I think that was Jackson Thorne in there again initially, or perhaps that was Connor Tyson. But I felt the ball carrier sort of jigged when he should have jagged, you know. I thought it was there. If he just hit it up inside a little bit, he needed about 3 yards. Lower the shoulders. He's a big, strong boy, runs hard. Sort of lower the shoulders. He tried to bounce it to the outside, and again, this Saskatchewan's got a lot of team speed, and so he ends up with a loss of about half a yard instead of gaining a couple.
It's funny you say that, because as soon as he did that, I was like, I bet Chad, the coach, is going nuts beside me, saying, just get those couple of yards.
Hit it. Go for it on 3rd and 1. Now it's 3rd and 3.
Crisp flings it ahead, took a deflection. Oh, nice hands. And that one is going to be caught by Dylan Gilbert.
I think they're giving him the catch, right? They're giving him the catch.
I think so. He was on the ground when the ball came out, but that took a deflection. Great hands from the 6'2", 240 Dylan Gilbert to make that catch on 3rd and short.
Yeah, nice concentration by Gilbert. So BC's got a couple of big backs, right? But we haven't really seen them utilize that in the run game, and I'm not sure if that's because they've seen the film, Saskatchewan versus Alberta, where they're just, you know, they're reluctant to run against that front. But you know, give the big boys the ball a little bit. Let's see what they can do.
Crisp and BC with a fresh set of downs here. That pass was looking for Gilbert once again. I'm not sure if maybe he got hit a little bit when he threw it, because it came out a little bit wonky.
It did, and again, that's the accumulation of quarterback hits and quarterback pressures a little bit too, right? Where, yeah, you sort of feel the pressure, even if it's not all the way there. But what Saskatchewan was really effective, we haven't seen it as much today, but they're effective in taking away pass lanes as well, getting those hands up there, and we saw some tip balls against Alberta. So just such a complete defensive line and linebacking core. Just the whole defense this is as good as what you're going to get in high school football.
8 minutes to go, 4th quarter. Crisp drops back again over the middle, and it's caught by Dahl. Dahl's got a first down. He's muscling his way forward and close to the 45, call it the 46. But BC, this drive that started on their own 8 is now into Saskatchewan territory.
Well, and what's beautiful about that play is not even, you know, the big guy goes down low to catch the ball, but he keeps his balance. He didn't let his knees touch the ground or his forearm touch the ground, and he's able to turn it up and get more yards and move those chains. So excellent individual effort there by Dahl.
So Crisp and Team BC on the far hash mark. They've got 3 to that narrow side, 2 on the wide side here with Dahl blocking. And Crisp is just swarmed. Saskatchewan, all sorts of pressure. Everyone getting home that time. Looked like it was Larson again who was one of the first ones there.
I think Larson should get credit for the sack. I believe, you know, we don't have the replay up here in the booth, but I think he will get credit for the sack. I think it was 77, the defensive player of the game from last game, Istais, who had that pressure, forcing the quarterback to sort of hitch up into the pocket where Larson cleans him up.
This is a loss of 6 here, knocking BC back to the Saskatchewan 52-yard line. So 2nd and 16 coming up. They got to get to the 36 here.
And this is a dangerous down, 2nd and long. Saskatchewan's just going to pin their ears back. If there's no threat of a screen pass, they're coming. Here's the linebacker.
And dumped over top. Dahl couldn't reel that one in, as, like you said, pressure was coming. And Crisp just trying to get it away. Dahl a little bit behind him.
Yeah, so now on 3rd and what about 15, 3rd and 16 here. Again, you need to get the ball downfield, but you're not going to have a lot of time to do it. So I would maybe go back. We saw the execution wasn't there on that wide receiver, ISO'd up with a fade route here, just where the quarterback can just take a 1 step and release, throw it up there for his receiver.
Crisp still out there. So BC once again going for it on 3rd down. Saskatchewan blitzing. Crisp rolling out, gets by 1. Maybe some room here for Crisp. And he's just gonna eventually fall forward to near the 40. An outstanding effort, but it's just gonna come up a few yards short.
Yeah, he's short, but it's not for lack of effort. He gets flushed from the pocket and pulls it down, which again, 3rd and 15 plus yards. You're saying, no, but he almost made it happen. He almost made it work. And you know, he's probably a player who, when he's at home playing high school football, he can probably make those first downs at 3rd and 15. He looks like a tremendous athlete.
BC able to eat up over half a quarter there with that drive, getting themselves out of the shadows of their own goalposts. Actually started at the end of the 3rd quarter there, and now Saskatchewan finally gets the ball back under 5 minutes left in this 4th.
Yeah, again, little steps for the BC offense, but we saw some positive stuff there.
Little sweep play here. It's Allardyce, and a nice tackle there. Number 34 for BC.
14, maybe?
Or 14, sorry. Yep, no, you're right. Evan Sostad out of North Vancouver.
Yeah, great tackle by Sostad.
There's a flag. Nate Allardyce with that carry got back to the line of scrimmage, but the penalty is going to be against BC here. Is that too many men?
Yeah, I believe it was. I couldn't quite see over the Saskatchewan players there, where the head official made the call. But either way, it's moving the sticks.
So it's a 1st down. Batke, quick out. On the far side there is Fountain, and he didn't get very far, did he, before he was surrounded by orange jerseys. Got maybe 2 here, so he's still 2nd and long for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, so what Fountain did on that little hitch screen is he kept working back towards the inside of the field. Well, that's where all the traffic is coming from. You need to make your one move and then get it up back outside. And you know, I said this, Saskatchewan ran this really well. Alberta tried it last week, and the receivers did the same sort of thing. I said, those wide receivers are like gazelles. You want to stay out of the middle, which I call the lion's den, right? Stay out, use your speed.
2nd and 8, ball headed off to Komarnicki. He's got a 1st down and finally tackled inside the BC 45, but another big gain here for Brody Komarnicki.
Yeah, a nice little counter play that he takes off tackle. Saskatchewan's had a lot of success with this run and this blocking concept. So again, really good run by Komarnicki, the running back. Really nice blocking up front by the Saskatchewan offensive line.
Fresh set of downs here for Team Saskatchewan. Batke in the gun once again. Komarnicki behind him. Play action this time. Batke rolling out near side, and that one just behind Holmes. And incomplete. 2nd and 10 as we've reached the 3-minute warning now.
Yeah, I was a little behind Holmes, and he tried to one-hand it behind him, make a sort of a circus catch, but I'm sure the QB would like to have that one back. But again, the blocking up front looks really good. And see number 68, Jake Lee out of Riffle High School, in there in this 2nd half. And again, next man up for Team Saskatchewan. You know, these guys who didn't start the game come in, and we don't really see any change in play or any change in style, and no letdown from these guys that did not start the game. There's the counter
Another
again.
handoff to Komarnicki, got some room. Komarnicki 1st down, still going, and he ran into a man there, number 37, Godbout. Big hitter there on the corner, and down near the 25 for Saskatchewan. They call it 26, and another 1st down.
Yeah, nice gain, another good run, and Simon Clark in there on the offensive line now. He's 10, 15 yards downfield, still picking up his blocks, showing the effort when he gets the chance to showcase himself.
We have another blood timeout for Saskatchewan.
So we got 67 coming off the field, holding his hand a little bit, Jacob Millard.
Out of North Battleford. Looked like he just kept looking at his fingers, maybe a little bit of a nick or something, a cut that he's got to come off for. As soon as there's blood, of course, we need to have that player come off. So 1st and 10 for Saskatchewan, and they'll toss it up here to Prodel. Prodel trying to go wide, still going forward, and he's going to be close to the 1st down now. He's definitely over, getting that second surge.
Yeah, second effort by Prodel to move the chains again. Good effort, and I love the the little fly sweep jet they do. And you know what the Saskatchewan quarterbacks probably like best is they're doing it as a little pop pass. They're probably getting passing yards on their stats as a result of this, right? No, I've had my own quarterback say, "Hey, coach, can you run it as a pop pass?" I'm like, "Well, you like that better? You like that?" Well, I just like getting the stats, right? So yeah, easy
Whatever
stats
works for you, yeah.
right?
This should be first and goal here for Saskatchewan. To Prodal, did he get there? Oh, they rule him just short at the 1 yard line.
Oh, again, tough to see from our angle. I thought that ball might have touched the white stripe. Good effort, though, by the BC defenders to keep Saskatchewan out of the end zone.
So second and goal from the 1 yard line, and I imagine both teams sending out the big boys here.
Yeah.
And I would guess that Badke would just probably drive forward, although he is lined up a couple yards back here. Badke looking to pass, and it's through the hands, and it winds up working as it's caught by Kalen Haid for the touchdown through the hands of Allardyce, and Haid, Johnny on the spot.
Gotta be good to be lucky, lucky to be good, I guess. Yeah, conventional wisdom says they're just gonna pound it in, but you know, they're trying to get some more receivers involved, and like, that's not the receiver they meant to get involved though, but Haid concentration drill comes up with it. Another touchdown for Saskatchewan, and I guarantee somewhere down there in the black jerseys there's a disappointed big boy who said, "Coach, I thought you said 3rd and 1. I could get a goal line carry, right?"
Haid will look for another convert. BC got a good push there, almost blocked it, but it does go through to make it 49-0, and that is right at the horn. So that's the final score here from Sherwood Park. 49-0. Team Saskatchewan wins, but you know what? A good effort in that second half from Team BC. They held Saskatchewan to just 14 points, put together a decent drive that eventually stalled out, and they were really the, creators of their own demise on the long Saskatchewan touchdown drive.
Yeah, I think if you're Team BC and if you're the coaching staff, you have some positive things to build on in this half, and you could say, hey, we're going to be playing against a team in a few days who got shut out by Team Saskatchewan as well. So it should be a really good matchup between BC and Alberta. And again, I think limiting Saskatchewan's touchdowns in the second half, and the fact that BC took less penalties and they were able to churn out more first down yardage. And there's effort on that BC team. There's effort. They're down big, but some of these guys, we got quarterbacks, receivers, running backs. They're all playing hard. Linemen still trying their best. So I'm not disappointed in the effort. Obviously, Saskatchewan is a cut above the other Western provinces right now. But we should be in for a doozy on Wednesday between BC and Alberta. And congrats to Team Saskatchewan for this U-18 Futures West Challenge to not only be 2-0, but to not give up a point in those 2 games. Big credit again to Coach Schneider and his staff, and to all the members of Team Saskatchewan.
Yeah, they go to the U-18 Canada Cup, win that one, then they come here and a couple of shutouts against BC and Alberta, and Saskatchewan will now head home after showcasing their skills here. And like you said, that matchup on Wednesday morning between BC and Alberta, I think is going to be absolutely fascinating. I can't see one way or the other if one team has an advantage. Maybe Alberta a little bit because they held Saskatchewan a couple fewer points, but even then, I think there's still all to play for in that one.
Yeah, no, I think so too, and I think BC and Alberta have some similarities where, and I guess it'll be a true test. Was it Saskatchewan that good on defense? Because both BC and Alberta really struggled to move the ball downfield through the air. Any of the passing they did was of the short variety where they're looking for yards after catch, and they weren't able to complete anything deep, and they weren't able to establish much of a run game between the tackles at all. So, no, it will be very, very interesting to see that game on Wednesday morning.
Got the players lined up now on their respective 45-yard lines. We've got some post-game presentations here. Any ideas who's going to win some of these awards?
Well, last week, I guess, pretty good. For Saskatchewan, I'm saying 73 on D. I'm saying Flory, the quarterback, on O.
Big round of applause for all the players. Like I said, a nice little turnout here at Emerald Hills. What a great facility this is, too.
BC, I'm going to guess Martinez on defense, 25.
It's a good shout.
I'll go 13 on offense.
Noah Jelks, yeah, I like that. That's a good call too. Say maybe Silas Douglas, but we'll see.
Could be.
Receiving a complimentary hat from the Edmonton Elks of the CFL.
They're giving away Elks hats, which I'm sure both the Saskatchewan and BC teams will love that.
Number 13, Noah Jelks.
Noah Jelks,
Jelks.
there you go.
Yeah. Wear the Elks hat back home and try not to get beat up, kid. Yeah, there you go.
Gotta love what they're doing out in BC too, trying to bring that franchise back to prominence.
I love watching the BC Lions offense right now.
Nathan Rourke, the Canadian quarterback, doing great work. There's room for Canadians at the pivotal positions.
Number 25, David Martinez.
Are you sure you didn't just pick
yeah.
these and tell the people downstairs? David Martinez, defensive player of the game for Team BC.
We couldn't place bets. I couldn't win money on this, did I?
I don't think you'd be allowed to. Get the photo, and that's always a good one to throw up on Instagram, social media.
And finally for Team BC, the offensive player of the game, number 5, Morgan Crisp.
And Morgan Crisp
Morgan
is
Crisp.
going to be the offensive player of the game. So Jelks would have been the special teams player.
Crisp, that's another deserving young man right
Yeah.
there.
Thought he was really good when he came in there, taking over from Rowan Aulick. So now Saskatchewan will get their special teams, defensive and offensive players.
Special teams player of the game, number 87, Kalen Hay.
Kalen Haid, pardon me, out of Riffle, the special teams player of the game. Perfect on all 7 converts. He also had a touchdown too, that very last one.
He's pretty good offensively too.
Nice game for number 87 to wrap things up here. Defensive player of the game coming up next. Chad's money was on
Defensive player of the
Hunter
game.
Larson.
Many to choose from, a very difficult decision, but it goes to number 22, Jake Mayo.
And they're going Jake Mayo out of Lemberg. Another one of the small town kids getting some love.
Strong play in the secondary.
To say sometimes you don't say a guy's name a lot, it's because they're not throwing to him because they know exactly what he's going to do.
That's right.
So Jake Mayo getting defensive player of the game, and let's see who the offensive player of the game
Again,
is.
a difficult decision from many fine candidates, but it goes to number 34, Peter
It's
Bourque.
Peter Borsch
Oh, the running back.
out of O'Neill.
Yeah, pretty difficult to have a bad choice when you're selecting Team Saskatchewan.
That concludes our
So there are
presentation,
your
ladies and gentlemen.
6 players of the game.
Team Saskatchewan, please have a safe drive home.
And they're wishing Saskatchewan a safe drive home, of course, as their Western Showcase has come to an end. And once again, we'll have Team BC taking on Team Alberta coming up on Wednesday. I believe that's an 11 o'clock kickoff, unless they've moved it again. So I guess that wraps up our coverage on behalf of our entire IC Live team and my outstanding color commentator, Chad Hill. My name is Grayson Knutson. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here on Wednesday when Alberta takes on BC.